pike of olive, green though it had been, reddened and glowed as if about to catch. I drew it from the coals, and my four fellows gave me a hand, lugging it near the Cyclops as more than natural force nerved them. Straight forward they sprinted, lifted it, and rammed it deep into his crater eye. I leaned on it, turning it as a shipwright turns a drill in planking, having the men bellow to swing the two-handed strap that spins it in the groove. So with our brand, we bore that great eye socket, while blood ran out around the red-hot bar. The eyelid and lash were seared. The pierced ball hissed, broiling, and the roots popped. The Cyclops roars in pain and then pulls the pike out of his eye. He yells for his neighbors to come help him. Some of them call from outside of the cave, asking who has tricked him or ruined him. And the Cyclops says that nobody has tricked him. His neighbors think nobody has tricked the Cyclops, so they go away. Odysseus laughs at his trick with the name. The Cyclops moves the huge stone, and he sits in the cave's entrance so that no one can get past him. Odysseus thinks of a plan to get himself and the men out of the cave. He will use the Cyclops' sheep, which are large and woolly or hairy. Okay. 3 abreast, I tied them silently together, twining cords of willow from the ogre's bed, then slung a man under each middle one, to ride there safely, shielded left and right so that the sheep could convey each man. I took the woolliest ram, the choicest of the flock, and hung myself under his kinky belly, pulled up tight with fingers twisted deep in the sheepskin ringlets for an iron grip. So, breathing hard, we waited until morning. When dawn spread out her fingertips of rose, the rams began to stir, moving for pasture, and the peals of bleating echoed around the pens, where the dams, with udders full, called for a milking. Blinded and sick with pain from his head wound, the master stroked each ram, then let it pass. But my men, riding on the pectoral fleece, the giant's blind hands blundering never found. So the men are underneath a middle, and there's 2 other ones. They're all tied together, and the Cyclops is feeling them and letting them go through. Okay, Odysseus is the last man to escape the cave, clinging to the largest ram in the flock. When he gets far enough away, Odysseus lets go of the ram and unties his men. Odysseus tells them to load all the sheep onto their ship. The men row the ship away from the beach, and Odysseus yells back to the Cyclops. He tells him the gods have punished him for mistreating his guests. The Cyclops is very angry. He breaks off part of a hill and throws it towards Odysseus's voice. It misses the ship, but creates a wave that pushes the ship back towards the beach. The men row hard to get away again. Although his men beg him to stop, Odysseus yells to the Cyclops. He proudly tells the Cyclops his real name, and he says he is from Ithaca. The Cyclops then remembers a prophecy, a story that guesses future events that he heard long ago. The prophecy said that he would lose his eye to Odysseus. The Cyclops asks Odysseus to come back. He says that his father, the god Poseidon, will be Odysseus's friend.
Just a reminder, please sign the card in the office. Just a reminder, please stop by and sign the card in the office, please.
Sorry. But Odysseus curses the Cyclops. Then the Cyclops calls on Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea, to make sure Odysseus never gets back to Ithaca, or if he does get home, the Cyclops prays that Odysseus will suffer greatly. He wants Odysseus's trip to be long and difficult, and he wants Odysseus to lose his ships and his men. The Cyclops throws a huge stone towards the ship, and it creates a wave that pushes the ship towards the small island where Odysseus's other men are awaiting. On the island, the Cyclops sheep are divided among all of the men. Odysseus kills the largest ram and makes an offering or a gift to Zeus, the most powerful Greek god. However, Odysseus says that Zeus does not accept the offering. Odysseus thinks Zeus will destroy all of his ships and kill his men before he gets home. Odysseus and his men have a feast on the island, and the next morning they sail away. They feel lucky to be alive, but they miss their friends who died on the Cyclops' island.